Mr.
Thank
Secretary.
you. Thank
I don't think
you.
anybody said that to you yet today. Thank you for sharing your birthday with us today.
Thank you. My birthday present will be when I win you over, Mr. Denham.
I hope the facts can win me over. That's my biggest concern right now. And, you know, I agree with you that, you know, these projects, these roads, these high-speed rail, they're not Republican or Democrat. But the question is, are they good investment or bad investment? And that's where I've been trying to get the proof on. California, you know, you continue to talk about that being a good investment, although the numbers have ballooned to $98.5 billion. So my question to you is, sir, where does that money come from?
There is not enough money here in Washington to do what the people in California want to do. And so we've encouraged companies that were going to invest in Florida and other places to go to California. I've had a couple of meetings with Governor Brown about this. I've arranged meetings with Governor Brown and investors from China and Japan that could possibly, the discussions are still going on, come to California, establish opportunities for jobs to build the infrastructure, to build the train sets so that these Californians can go to work there doing them. It's going to take private investment. Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. And there are companies that are in discussions with California officials to make investments.
But you do agree with the $98.5 billion number, that at least that we're starting with a factual baseline of that is going to be the true cost.
It's going to be expensive to build the high-speed rail. If that's the figure today, that's the figure today. It'll be different tomorrow. The longer, look at the longer, look at these, there's an inflation factor here. When this project started, it wasn't 95.
No,
it was
30,
less than that.
33.
And when
33, now it's
when we're here
triple.
3 years from now, it's going to be higher than that. So the answer is, you got the right figure today. This is an expensive project. But all of the money is going to American workers to build American infrastructure. It's not as if the money, it's going to our people. It's going to your friends and neighbors. It's going to your constituents to pay their salaries, to build the train sets, to build the infrastructure. That's where the money's going to. And if we can get private investors, pardon me?
At what cost? So I'm with you. I want to create American jobs too. The shovel-ready projects that we talk about, I love for the shovel to actually be in the ground creating these jobs. But at what cost? I mean, if it's a $98.5 billion project, are we saying $1 million a job is a good job? $2 million a job is a good job? At what price do we throw money at a project that you can't define numbers on?
This money is going to small businesses, going to big businesses, going to contractors, and going to American workers.
Yes,
that's
sir,
where the money's going.
I understand that. My time is limited. My question is, the American public wants to know at what cost. Is it $98.5 billion? And if that is really the cost, where does that money come from? Because right now, California voters that approved a $9.95 billion bond, 10% of the overall cost, they want their money back. Today's Sacramento Bee shows that 64% of the people are now opposed to it. People that went to the ballot box and voted for the $9.95 billion bond are now opposed to it and want that pulled back. So if the federal government's commitment is $3.6 billion, which they've already allocated as stimulus dollars that haven't put a shovel into the ground, where does the other $95 billion come from? If there's a private investor out there that wants to spend $95 billion, bring them on. Give me their names. I'd love to see the plan that they have. I'd love to see them not only invest, but I'd like to see them get a return on their investment. But we continue talking about investing with no plan on what the return to the taxpayer is. So, you know, every transportation project we look at, we have a plan. We know what it's going to cost in the environmental phase, the planning phase, construction phase. We know how many jobs we're going to create. But yet this big picture of high-speed rail, which sounds warm and fuzzy, isn't sounding warm and fuzzy anymore because we don't have any concrete numbers. So I would assume that if you're going to throw more stimulus dollars, if you're going to throw more of the taxpayers' dollars at this project, that you have to have some kind of plan other than maybe there's a private investor out there that might want to put some money into this.
California has a plan. I'll be happy to share it with you. I would suggest you talk to Jim Costa about it. He's worked on it when he was a state assembly person. He's worked on it since he's been a congressman. Governor Brown has a new team of people in place. California has a plan. That's why we're funding
Secretary,
it.
do you have a plan?
Absolutely. Here it is. Here it is in pictures, and I can give it to you in writing too if you'd like.
I'm here to not debate you, but to understand what the federal government's obligation is. Right now, you've obligated $3.6 billion of stimulus dollars to a project that's not shovel-ready. If California has a plan, they must be relying on the federal government somewhat for an additional lump sum of money above the 3.6. What is that number? I think not only as a member of this committee I should have that number, but my taxpayers in the district that have committed $9.95 billion should understand what that number is.
We'll share it with you.
I look forward to seeing it.
Gentleman's time has expired. Mr. DeFazio.